I got some carrots yesterday at a produce giveaway and I already have some, so I decided I would can up what I have. Sometimes when I do carrots, if they're not very bad, I just wash them good and slice them that way. But these had a lot of bad spots on them, so I went ahead and peeled them, and I saved my peelings, and I either use them like for the cow or the pigs, or sometimes, depending on my scraps, I keep a Ziploc bag in the freezer, and I just throw them in there, and then when I get a lot extra, I just make some broth. I do that with chicken bones and scraps too, and such. Works great. Okay, anyway, I was just going to cut up a few of these and kind of tell you what I was doing. You can slice them, you can do like stick type ones, and if they're small enough, sometimes I'll even make the whole ones like that. And then I use them for roast or just to heat up when I want them, soups, whatever. You can do different things with them. Like sometimes I like to put a little brown sugar and a pat of butter in it. I always dry pack mine. I don't put any liquid in. You can just put them in there with some, and put water in them too. Do that. That's fine. It's just I prefer mine dry pack. I dry pack most of my vegetables. And you could also just put, if you didn't want to put brown sugar and butter, you could always just put a little sprinkle of I usually use sea salt, but you could use some salt. And you can just do it, like I said, with no seasoning at all. That works too. It's just whatever you prefer to do. And I've got my little prep deal. It's got, you can slice and whatever in it. It works great. And I just decided to do little discs, I guess you could call them, or slices. And some of the carrots, of course, are odd shaped, so you might have the oval ones. But it works really good. And that's what I'm going to do. That's about the thickness I'm doing it. Now, I could do it a little thicker if I wanted to. I noticed these carrots seem to be a little drier, maybe. So I wasn't going to season them all, but I think this time I'm going to use brown sugar and a little butter. Okay, I've got my carrots all ready to go. And as you can see, I've started to do my jars. I'm doing pints. And is what I'm doing. I'm just basically packing them in my jar. And I will show you one from the start here in a second. Now they will shrink down some. So you don't, you want to leave, you probably fill them a little fuller than you would like if you were doing liquid or something, because they're going to shrink down. And I do push them down just a little bit. Okay, they're almost full. Here's what I do. I'll take a pat of butter. And I'm not real picky on, I don't do anything precise. I just kind of do it by looks. I put a pat of butter in here. And I put a little bit of brown sugar. There we go. And then I'm just going to top it off with a few more carrots. Okay, and this is what I'm going to do. I have hot water. As you can see, they're pretty full. Pushed them all down. They will shrink. You'll see them when they're done. I take a little bit of hot water. I never use vinegar to wash my rims. I know some people say to, but I don't. I've always just used some hot water on a paper towel. Just wipe it off. You want to make sure it's clean. There's no little pieces of dirt. If you happen to be doing, like, let's say broth and it might be a little greasy, you don't want grease on there because it makes it harder to seal because it's dirty, which makes sense, of course. Okay, and then is what I do is I go ahead, I know they say you don't have to boil your lids. I don't boil mine, but I do put them in hot water. I've always done that. I probably always will. Okay, put it on there. You don't want to over tighten it, but you want it on there tight enough so that the ring doesn't come off during processing. And once I put them in I'm using my pressure canner, my electric pressure canner again. And for pints, I will put them in there for 25 minutes for pressure canning. Now, In my pressure canner, I do put 8 cups of water in it. I don't go by the line on the inside because that's not quite right. I don't know why, but it is 8 cups. And so these will be done in 25 minutes for pints. If you're doing quarts, it'll be 30 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and get these going, and I'm going to finish filling up my jars to do the rest. I don't know how many I'll end up with. I've got 2 electric pressure canners, so I'll get the other one going too, and then I'll go from there.